My 18 male brother, 20, got a car for his 18th birthday. Not a new car or anything. It was a 20-year-old Lexus that was in pretty good shape, and he rubbed it in my face for the rest of the time he was in senior year of high school. Compared with my brother, I get just as good grades as he does, better in some cases even. I worked my hardest in the hope of fairness. I even did some volunteering cleaning up garbage in my local area. Then my 18th birthday came and went a few weeks ago, and the only thing I wanted, the only thing I was hoping for, was a car. I wasn't expecting something like a new car or a sporty car, just something reliable like my brother got. So the party wasn't anything like my brother's 18th. For his 18th, my mom baked the cake herself. It was a delicious layered chocolate pudding cake. I got a sheet cake from the supermarket. For his, they got a DJ. It was my dad's old boombox with a couple of mixed CDs for mine. We went through the whole party, and I figured my parents might just have been waiting to spring a surprise gift on me, but that didn't happen. I asked them as things were wrapping up why there was no car when my brother got one, and they said that they felt like he'd worked harder for it. I asked what he did that I didn't do because I did all of that and more. My grandma was nearby and heard everything, and then she asked them why as well. She ended up lecturing my parents that she was very, very, very disappointed in them for showing favoritism. Then she announced to everyone still there that my parents thought it acceptable to get their firstborn son a car and DJ, but not their second. And then she even pointed out how much harder my parents tried for my brother's 18th birthday than they had for mine. My uncle was the first to stand up and say something. Then everyone else who'd not left yet. I ended up just walking away and going to my room to sit and think. I got a few I'm sorry calls from relatives, and my grandparents convinced me to go out with them for the evening. But when I got back, my parents were angry and told me I'd shamed them to the whole family, so I just walked past them because I didn't want to fight. The next few weeks went by with the silent treatment between us. But then, a few days ago, my parents suddenly surprised me with a white 98 Subaru Legacy that runs great. They practically threw the keys and the title in an envelope at me and said to have fun. I got the car, and they're paying for insurance for the next 6 months as they did for my brother. I know a car isn't a right but a privilege, so I feel like I've essentially blackmailed my parents into getting me one. Am I the idiot for how all this played out? Edit, my parents make pretty good money and also don't go out of their way to live lavishly by choice. They've always been moderate in everything they buy or do. If anything is stretching their finances, it's my brother's college tuition. He got a partial scholarship and my parents are paying the rest. I don't and never intended to ask for the same treatment on that. I want to work and pay my own student loans. Now that I have the car, I'm already looking into getting a part-time job. Not the idiot, you didn't shame them. You just pointed out how horrendous they were behaving. It's not like you made a public announcement, your conversation was overheard. Their embarrassment was because it was true and everyone knew it. They all probably saw the difference and all were too polite to say anything until you mentioned it. The fact that your parents gave you a sheet cake from the damn grocery store and then dared to say they felt you didn't work hard enough for it, what kind of nonsense is that? I love how parents accused you of shaming them for noticing the unfair treatment. How dare you show hurt and bewilderment instead of swallowing your feelings due to their choices? You just know the parents were ready to revise history and downplay all of OP's accomplishments, but Grandma didn't let them. Go Grandma! OP, your parents were showing obvious favoritism. This isn't Cinderella. They got named and shamed in front of the whole family as they deserved. It's so satisfying to see how the rest of the family stepped in to set things straight. Please, don't let this shake your confidence in yourself. You worked hard, and even if your parents refuse to see it, you will meet so many people in your life that will love, appreciate, and respect the effort you put in. Be kind to yourself, OP. You are not the idiot. So I, 24 male, live in a 3-bedroom, 3-bath apartment with my mom, 58. My mom moved in with me last year after she quit her job as she couldn't work anymore because of back problems. I let my mom move in with me for free because I feel like it's my responsibility to take care of her as she's getting old. I'm pretty financially stable and my mom's been very helpful with all the house chores, so I don't mind her living for free. But the problem is my mom never got along well with my sister, 30. It was mainly because my mom hadn't approved of my sister's boyfriend. Honestly, I can't blame my mom for that because he didn't seem like a good guy, but my sister was blindly in love with him. My sister also dropped out of college to focus on acting, and well, my mom also didn't want that. So my mom had warned my sister that her relationship with her boyfriend wouldn't last and that she should focus on college instead of acting. But my sister didn't listen, and my mom completely cut off my sister from her life. Since then, my mom hasn't talked to my sister and she gets mad whenever she hears any mention of my sister. So I didn't mention anything about my sister to her and didn't hear from my sister in a while. I only knew that my sister didn't really make it big in acting and her boyfriend also dumped her. I didn't hear from my sister until yesterday when she called me. She told me that she'd lost her job and struggled with rent. She said she was getting evicted and needed a place to stay until she could get back on her feet. She knew there was room in my home, so she asked if she could move in with us until she figured something out. So I mentioned this to my mom, and when she heard about my sister, she wasn't happy. She said none of this would have happened if my sister had listened to her, and that I shouldn't let my sister move in with us because she has to face the consequences of her decisions. My mom told me that I shouldn't put my sister over her. I did feel bad for my sister, but I didn't want to upset my mom or make her feel like I was choosing my sister. So I told my sister my mom wouldn't want her moving in with us, but I did offer her money to help her find a place to stay until she got back on her feet. But she rejected my offer and called my mom a narcissist and said I was enabling my mom's behavior. She said she couldn't believe I would choose my mom over her. This made me mad when she called my mom a narcissist, so I told her if she had listened to Mom, she wouldn't have had to go through any of this today and hung up on her. I haven't heard from her after that, but I assured my mom my sister wouldn't move in with us, and things between us became normal again. I don't understand why my sister is upset with me. I offered to pay for her to find a new place, but she refused it. So, am I the idiot for this? Your mom is a narcissist and has figured out a way to get you to take care of her. She quit her job, wasn't fired, and you didn't mention her applying for Social Security disability, so who knows if her back problems are legit or a manipulation tool. She cut off her daughter for not living her life the way she ordered her to live. As a mother, I cannot imagine doing this, and is entirely willing to make her daughter homeless by forbidding you to give her shelter. Your mother could have planned for the future by saving for retirement or getting private disability insurance, or applying for SSD if she's truly disabled. Instead, she wants a handout from you while controlling you and ranting about your sister needing to face the consequences while she faces none. Typical narcissist. You are the idiot if you continue to allow your mother to run your life and take advantage of you. Instead, do the right thing and be there for your poor sister who's suffering right now. It's the homeless part that gets me. What kind of parent would be so petty that they would even consider leaving one of their children homeless to prove a point? It's even worse when it's not even her house she's keeping them out of. OP, is that the kind of person you want to be? My husband, 42, and I, 40 female, have a daughter, Sandra, who's just turned 18 and is an only child. She's barely talked to us over the past few days, and I wanted some perspective. Historically, we haven't always been there for her birthday because my husband and I work long hours. We get Sandra a cake, have a nice dinner at home on the closest day after her birthday, but it's rare we spend the actual day with her. For her 18th, Sandra wanted to do something with her friends, and because my husband and I were working that night, we agreed. She proposed the idea of an escape room with 11 of her other friends, and it would be a competition, 6 versus 6, and finished with a meal after somewhere. We agreed and said we would pay for her meal. Then she and her friends would pay for the escape room themselves. However, a couple of her friends she wanted to come with her aren't great with money. They've borrowed money from my daughter before and have been a bit late paying her back, so we were hesitant in letting her book the escape room until we knew everyone had given her the money. My daughter was scared someone else would book the escape room. This was a week before her birthday and asked to book it. We said no and put our foot down, but my daughter went ahead and booked it with her friends anyway. Sandra went behind our backs, so we told her that what she did was wrong and disrespectful and that there wouldn't be any cake or dinner this year, and we stuck to our word. So on our day off, we didn't do anything, and she just sulked in her room. It's now a few days after her birthday. We asked if she had fun, and she said everyone paid her and the night was fun, and that was that. My husband doesn't think we did anything wrong, but I heard her crying in her room. She's still icy with us, so am I the idiot for not doing anything for her 18th? So, you've essentially never made your daughter's birthday a priority. Then, when she tried to do something nice for herself on an important milestone, you did your best to ruin it. You are the idiot, your husband is an idiot, and collectively you should both be ashamed. OP, please don't be surprised when she goes no contact and disappears from your life. You may think that you had good reasons to neglect her, but all she'll remember is that you weren't there for her. And I can't believe there's an industry that will not let you have one day off for your only child's 18th birthday. So it's not like you didn't know it was coming and couldn't give plenty of notice. LOL, I wouldn't even bother calling you or your husband idiots. That would be an insult to other idiots. I wouldn't worry about it though. You're a lot like my own parents, and with any luck, your daughter is a lot like me. Open Spotify and listen to Harry Chapin's Cats in the Cradle. Enjoy your future abandonment. I hate waiting in line. The school pickup line is terrible. In my opinion, it backs up on a fairly main road, takes 15 plus minutes of waiting to pick up your child. It's all round an annoying experience, and I know many parents complain about it. When my boys, twin boys, are old enough to be on the walking home list, I will have them walk a few blocks to my car for me to take them home. But since they're too young to do such, I park my car a few blocks away, walk to the school, pick them up, and the three of us walk back to my car. It's fairly painless to me. The boys never really complained. I make sure to park in a legal spot, not blocking anyone, not in a reserved area. I'd never thought anything of it until last week I went to the PTA meeting. I had a different grievance to bring up. My son has an IEP and is supposed to get taken out of class for 20 minutes a day to work on stuff, and it hasn't been happening. When a different parent says that what I'm doing is wrong. They all hate the line, but we all have to wait in it. They claim that circumventing it is throwing away the whole system, not to mention it's cruel to make children walk in such cold weather, which seems silly. They will either be standing outside waiting for my vehicle or outside walking to the vehicle, so they ended the meeting and said that it would be discussed at the April meeting. Am I the idiot for circumventing the line and just picking up both my boys? Wait, what? This falls into the category of nobody else's bloody business, and even being aware of it is proof that the complaining parent is paying far too much attention to things that don't concern them. I would think one less car in the already backed up line is a good thing. And besides, what's a parent who doesn't have a car supposed to do? Not the idiot. You aren't doing anything wrong. The other parent is mad that they're too lazy to do the same thing. No one can force you to sit in that ridiculous line. You aren't impeding traffic. Your kids aren't being abused. Don't let them try to bully you into doing it their way. What are they going to do to you? Nothing. Huh? This is the most ludicrous thing I've heard in a while. So she's mad that you're skipping the line by actually removing a car from the traffic jam. Your way is just basic common sense. It's how pretty much all school pickups worked when I was in school. No one has to wait in the line unless they're really too dense to see that if everyone did what you do, there'd be no line to worry about. Ta-da! I got married in early 2020, and at the time my niece, then 22, now 24, was a bottle girl, and went through a phase where it was her entire personality, as in she couldn't switch off the customer's voice, said inappropriate things at inappropriate times to inappropriate people, wore outfits not suited to the event, a baptism, 2 weddings and a funeral, only talked about work. It was annoying, but the family didn't comment, hoping she'd grow out of it for the most part. One of the weddings she went to was mine. Although the family had talked to her about dressing appropriately for events, I reminded her about our family tradition. An extended family photo is taken and displayed in the home at all weddings. Another will be in the family wedding photo album, just a cool way to look back and see how kids have grown and family expanded, and remember those who are no longer with us. My niece chose to wear a club dress with underboob cutouts, something that was trending. My sister was sincerely apologetic. I was unsurprised, and my SO has a let them embarrass themselves mentality and just shrugged. The day went on. True to word, there was a big family photo, and we have it displayed on our mantel, next to a much larger wedding photo of just my SO and me, pretty much the only photo that gets commented on. My niece came by recently and got really upset with us. She started crying about us only displaying that photo to humiliate her, and she can't believe that we'd still rub her face in her past mistakes. Even Grandma, current owner of the family wedding album, won't find another photo or let her forget it. I tried to comfort her, saying we all wore a terrible wedding outfit at least once. The book is full of fashion disaster trends, but no one cares about what the guests wear. Sorry, but true, and that's not the point of it at all. Eventually, it'll just be another page in the book. She wasn't happy with our photo, so we said we'd move it somewhere private, but she wanted it gone. So my SO got impatient. Look, the family talked to you about this. You knew about the tradition and you still chose that outfit. There's no do-over wedding photo and there's no family photo without you in it, so deal. I tried to soothe things a bit by reminding my niece 3 people in that photo passed away later. It's the last family photo we have of them. So much has happened since. Her outfit isn't something we talk about. It's been there nearly 2 years and she never took notice. She seemed better, but I later got a call from my sister asking me to please get rid of the photo as it's an embarrassment if only for how it reflects on her as a mother. That made no sense to me. I repeated that no one cares, but my sister said that my niece and her dog should be enough to remove it. My sister and I are now at a standstill, and my SO says being embarrassed by your clothes is part of growing up. But it's been a messy 2 years. If she's so upset, maybe it's worth hiding it until more time has passed. Not the idiot. She can't believe that we'd still rub her face in her past mistake. She hasn't grown nearly as much as she thinks she has. She may no longer be dressing inappropriately, but she's acting like the world is still centered around her. For God's sake, it can't just be that you chose to display a group photo of your wedding in your house. It has to be a targeted attack on her. Jeez. As a 50-year-old, I absolutely love looking back at past photos and seeing what I thought I looked super hot in at the time. It's gloriously disastrous, and I'm so glad I listened to my mom and didn't get rid of them at the time they most mortified me. I love getting old. Life is so much less stressful, and what worries you is so much less superficial. I found anyway. OP, maybe contact the photographer, but please keep the original. Your niece will look at that and laugh at herself one day. Update. The most seamless solution, I think, is contacting my photographer and seeing if they still have the photo and how much it will cost to Photoshop and reframe. I'll be sending my sister and niece the bill to be paid before the photographer starts work.